We want to remind everyone to please turn off or silence your electronic devices. The mayor and vice mayor are physically absent this evening. Rule 6 of the City Council Rules of Order and Procedure state that the city clerk shall call the meeting to order, so I'm calling the meeting to order, and the council shall elect by majority of those present a meeting chair. Do we have a nomination?
I nominate Councilwoman Donahue.
Do I need to second that?
In that case, I second it.
Okay.
Do you accept?
I accept, yeah. Thank you. In that case, I will call the meeting to order. And want to have everyone stand for the invocation and the pledge to the flag. Dear Lord, we begin our meeting tonight by first remembering all the many things we have to be thankful for. We thank you for our great country and that we are able to meet and govern ourselves in freedom. Let us never take our freedoms and liberties for granted. We thank you for our wonderful community and the gift of each other. Help us to see each other as you see us, as brothers and sisters, united under one God. Help us find the path to mutual respect and benevolence towards one another. Heal the anger and divisions that seem to be so prevalent in our world today. Help us to be a community that serves as an example to others in paving the way toward unity. And open our hearts and minds tonight as we engage in the difficult task of governing our amazing city, and help us to embrace our differences and realize that we are stronger because of them. I'd like to add a special prayer tonight for our very active citizens, Bobby and Mary Rose Owens, as they go through some health issues. We ask all of this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. We want to make sure that Mr. Schisler can hear us and that we can hear him. Gil, are you there?
I am here. Thank you.
Very good.
Can you hear me?
Slight time delay. I believe you're miles and miles away from home. So let's see here. We will
A little
begin
bit.
tonight. We have no recognitions or proclamations, no presentations, and no appointments. We do have the consideration of the minutes from the previous minutes, so I need a motion to approve the July 5th, 2022 City Council minutes. Do I hear that?
Move to approve the minutes.
Second? Okay. We have a motion to approve with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Aye.
Thank you, Gil. Persons wishing to be heard on items not listed on the agenda or items on the consent agenda. Now, the council has agreed to a 30-minute time limit for all public comment to be continued at the end of the meeting if necessary. A 3-minute time limit will be imposed on all comments from the public. We ask that speakers come to the podium and state their name and city of residence. And during the public comment on items not on the agenda, the city manager and directors in attendance do make notes of these items and assure residents, we assure you that all of your comments are taken seriously and that they will be followed up on. I do have one, and that is Valerie Cronin. I believe, Ms. Cronin, you're here. Come forward, please, to the podium. You have 3 minutes.
I'm Valerie Cronin. I had 2 homes here, but they were stolen from me. The Temple Terrace police came. They had a call that I was being murdered, which was true, by my brother, John Cronin Jr., and Rachel Cronin, and my 2 sisters. That night I had $200,000 on me. The police did not arrest my brother. They caught him literally in the act, and they let him go because I had $200,000, and the police stole the money. I am now homeless because they let my brother go, and he slept with Pat Frank and Judge Ober and they stole 2 homes from me. I want justice. My brother was free to murder my parents. The police refused to arrest him every time my parents called. And they were dripping blood, and they had broken bones. These damn pigs would not do anything. They let him murder my parents. I want those police under arrest. The 2 who pretended to be internal affairs, 2 women, they pretended to be the same person, and they didn't look alike. The Zimmerman, who was a murderer from Chicago, and then he went to St. Pete Beach, and he came here. The chief of police needs to be fired. I want him under arrest, too. This is ridiculous. 14 years this has been going on. I'm a diabetic. I have a gangrene in my feet. It's spread to my ankles. All because they didn't arrest my brother. How the hell do I get him under arrest? What does it take? My parents begged those pigs to call to arrest him. They begged them. And this lawyer, I think that's her, yes, it is. She knew all about it. She knew all about it. The former mayor, the one you got rid of, we had a meeting. She knew all about it. The pigs told her the truth, I think. But how do you get a lawyer to tell the truth? I deserve to have both my homes. I need my insulin. And what can I say? This.
Thank you for coming and talking to us. I'm sure someone will follow up.
I'm telling the truth. And I've complained in court and everything. What the hell does it take to get justice?
I'm so sorry for
And
you.
get those police under arrest?
Thank you. Thank you for speaking to us. I don't have any other comment. Are there any other comments from the public? No. Okay, communications and petitions, we have none, and no consent agenda. We'll move right into the public hearing, ordinances, and resolutions. We have a resolution approving the first modification of the interlocal funding agreement for project year 2020-21, Community Development Block Grant CDBG. Accounting specialist Tiana Hill will explain.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Tiana Hill, Accounting Specialist with the Finance Department. I'm here this evening to request that our Community Development Block Grant Program funds time be extended for the project. The incident that has caused the request for extension is due to the fact that we are having supply chain issues with our concrete, and our selected contractor, Asphalt Paving Systems, is in need of the materials, and we're currently working out some type of agreement to ensure that we are able to keep our project construction on time. The initial agreement provided that the project will be completed on July 31st of 2022. As I stated previously, that we have material issues, which resulted in a pushback of the project beginning. We are now requesting with the new agreement that it should be extended to December 31st of 2022 with no additional cost and no alterations to the amended agreement for funding.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the public? Hearing none. Council, are there any questions? Mr. Chambers?
Yeah, thank you. I read in the notes, this has been approved by the county?
Yes, it has.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Just wanted to confirm that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
No? Mr. Schishler, do you have a question?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. If acceptable, I'll entertain a motion approving the first modification of the interlocal funding agreement for project year 2020-21 Community Development Block Grant.
I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All approve? Aye.
Aye. Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry, you have to,
Aye.
thank you, Gil.
because Vice Mayor Schistler is out of town, I have to do a roll call vote.
I'm so sorry.
Councilmember Abel,
Aye.
Councilmember Chambers,
Aye.
Councilmember Donahue,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schistler.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A little different protocol for tonight, so bear with us. Thank you so much. All right, the motion has passed. Okay. Moving on. We have a resolution approving subdivision plat application SB 22-01 for the plat of 35.42 plus acres of real property at 7746 Temple Terrace Highway to be known as River Park. And Senior Planner Gus Carpus will explain.
Good evening, Council, Madam Mayor. So what you have before you tonight is a final plat for River Park subdivision along Temple Terrace Highway. This has been through the process for quite a while now, all the different changes we had to do. So again, River Park subdivision will be located 7746 Temple Terrace Highway. So what it is looking to do is replat Lot 1 of Florida College Park River into 141 single-family lots with some out parcels to serve as public areas and drainage. Again, as the mayor said, 35.42 acres. So here is a layout of the plat, and the plat mimics the previously approved site plan. There have been no changes previously, and it'll come up later. The council did approve a site plan for this site. This plat shows the same layout. And then I did include from there the requirements in terms of the setbacks, the lot width, and all that good stuff as part of this slide. Just to remind the contractors that, or the developers, that these are still in effect. So as I said, the council adopted Ordinance 1504 to rezone the property back in April of 2021 from numerous different zoning districts to planned development, which would allow this to continue on. Then in June, they adopted a resolution approving the site plan review for the site, which is the layout you see now, follows the layout that was approved as part of the site plan. Staff has reviewed this, it's went through the DRC, and we are recommending approval for the river plat, 141 single-family lots and the associated out parcels. I'm sorry there, I'm tripping on myself. But yeah, so staff does recommend approval of the final plat for this site.
Okay, are there any comments from the public? Hearing none. Council, are there any questions?
No.
Mr. Schistler, do you have any questions?
I had one. Did the developer meet all the requirements for the traffic studies?
Yes, the city engineer signed off on all that stuff. I believe that was sent out to an outside vendor who reviewed that. So we did get the sign-offs before we brought this in front of you.
Very good, thank you.
I have two questions. I noticed that there's no space reserved for a playground of any kind. But you have some landscaping areas that are pretty much drainage, for drainage.
Correct.
But is there not an area set aside for that?
I didn't see anything specifically called out, and I don't know, are you folks here to answer that?
Good evening, Council. Alex Kuzmeyer, Tampa Civil Design, 17937 Hunting Bow Circle, Lutz, Florida. Yes, there is a approximately half-acre open space area on the project. D.R. Horton is ultimately going to buy this back from the developer, and what they put in that open space is ultimately up to them, but we do have a dedicated open space for recreation.
That's on the far west side?
It's on the south side of the development.
Okay. Okay, and then while you're there,
Yeah.
how about the HOA? Has that been formed?
The HOA has, I don't believe it has been officially formed. It has been recorded.
It's in the process.
It's in the process, yeah. It will be formed before any homeowners are occupying their residence.
Okay, Those are my two questions. You answered them both. Thank you. Okay, acceptable. I will, making sure with the city clerk I'm doing this right. I will entertain, unless you have any other questions, no other questions, we've answered those, okay. I'll entertain a motion approving the subdivision plat application.
Counsel-
You need a motion.
You need a motion.
Yes.
Okay. I move to approve subdivision plat application SP 22-01.
Second.
Second.
All right, and so now the city clerk will do the roll call.
Councilmember Abel,
Aye.
Councilmember Chambers,
Aye.
Councilmember Donahue,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schisler.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, motion passes. Resolution passed. Thank you so much. Okay, I guess you get to stay up here,
Yes,
right?
I
Yeah.
do.
All right. We have a second public hearing and second reading of Ordinance 1530, amending Exhibit C of Ordinance 1441, expanding the permitted uses on Site B of the approved conceptual plan included in RZP 17-13. Mr. Gus Carpus will explain.
Yes, as the mayor said, this is the second reading tonight. We looked at this 2 weeks ago. This ordinance, okay. I don't have my next one up. Well, basically what this ordinance is looking to do is to expand the uses on parcel B for the property up on Fletcher Avenue. What it is looking to do is add an allowable use for car wash, I should say, conditional use car wash on Site B of the property, which is currently not listed in the specific uses that are permitted. As it sits right now, when the property was platted, they set down specific uses. And again, here's the site. I'll get to the uses here in a second. So we saw this last time around. There's the site there. Site B is circled. That's the one that's right next to the service station convenience store. And that site would be, based on the motion, limited to just over 1 acre. So the approved uses that were allowed there previously were for office, medical office, restaurant, and general retail. There was an exception made for Site A, so beyond those uses, they were permitted to have a service station, which was then developed. So what the request is looking to do is do something similar with Site B to allow an expanded number of uses on the Site B. In this case, again, like I said, it's a car wash. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So it would be a car wash allowed as a conditional use. It would follow the conditions that are currently in our ordinance under the commercial general, which car washes are allowed there also as a conditional use only. So it would basically be allowing that use. There was one change from the last time. I believe there was, I added some language here that would allow or clarify that Site B was not just permitted automobile washing, it was also permitted the other uses also. The way it was written was incorrect. I did run that by the attorney. So this is an additional use to the site. So we did look at this, had a first reading of this language. And like I said, it was just a minor change. Here's the clean version. And I believe I included that in your staff report. The Site B with the automobile washing service allowed as a conditional use on the western 1.01 acres of Site B, because Site B currently needs to be platted prior to it being developed. So staff did recommend the City Council adopt the ordinance, amending ordinance, adopt Ordinance 1530, amending Ordinance 1441, expanding the permitted uses on Site B, and those would be included on Exhibit C to allow a automobile washing service as a conditional use.
Thank you, Mr. Carpus. Are there any public comments? Hearing none. Any questions from council?
No.
Mr. Schisler, any question?
No. Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
I will close the public hearing and ask the clerk to read the title of the ordinance.
An ordinance of the City of Temple Terrace, Florida, amending Ordinance 1441 in Exhibit C attached thereto, adopted November 21st, 2017, to expand the permitted uses on Site B of the approved conceptual plan included in RZP 17-13 as part of the original ordinance approval, providing a severability clause, an effective date, and repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith.
If the ordinance is acceptable, I entertain a motion to approve. I move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Abel?
Aye.
Councilmember Chambers?
Aye.
Councilmember Donahue?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schisler?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. Thank you. You may sit down, Mr. Carbis. The second public reading and second reading of Ordinance 1529, amending City Code Sections 2-200 and 2-257 regarding membership on Fire Pension Board of Trustees and Police Pension Board of Trustees, and I'll open the public hearing. City Attorney Pam Shoshone will explain.
Thank you. This is an addition, a small addition that is being made to both the Fire Pension Board of Trustees ordinance and to the Police Pension Board of Trustees. It's the same addition being made to both. It currently, the City Council has the authority to appoint 2 members to the 5-member Board of Trustees, and we are just adding in, since the mayor was interested in serving on this and the vice mayor was interested in serving on this, we are just making it official that they may do so. And we did make a change from the first reading after discussion by council to also allow for any of the council members to be able to serve on this Board of Trustees, and that they would hold that position ex officio to their elected offices. That is to make sure that there is no dual office holding issue. If this is adopted, note that it will not be effective until each of those boards of trustees votes to also approve this change.
Okay. Are there any public comments? Hearing none. Are there any questions from City Council? Question?
No.
None? Mr. Schisler, do you have any questions?
No.
And I have no.
No, ma'am.
Okay. In that case, I will close the public hearing and ask the clerk to read the title of the ordinance.
An ordinance of the City of Temple Terrace, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Temple Terrace, Chapter 2, Administration and Elections, Article 3, Officers and Employees, Division 3, Pensions and Retirement, amending Subdivision 4, Firefighters, Section 2-200, Board of Trustees, amending Subdivision 5, Police Officers, Section 2-257, Board of Trustees, providing for severability of provisions, providing for codification, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date.
Okay. Any comments? No? All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the ordinance.
Move to approve the second reading of Ordinance 1529, amending City Code Sections 2-200 and 2-257.
Second. Okay. Roll call.
Councilmember Abel?
Aye.
Councilmember Chambers?
Aye.
Councilmember Donahue?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schisler?
Aye. Oh, sorry, Gail, look for you.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any council business to come before the board tonight?
No.
No? Mr. Schisler, you have anything for us?
No, just thank you for indulging my absence.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. New business or board reports?
None.
None?
For me.
None? Okay. City manager, what do you have for us?
Good evening. I have one item tonight. Staff is getting the tentative schedule together for the hiring purposes of the new city manager. And council will be getting a list from Colin Basinger on July 25th, probably 8 to 10 of candidates. And on the August 2nd agenda it's scheduled for council to vote to narrow that list down to about 5 candidates. So staff recommends that you hold a workshop that evening at 5 o'clock, maybe to discuss the candidates prior to the meeting to make it a little easier during that process. And we would like to ask for a workshop then, August 2nd.
Do you think an hour is enough time?
Well, actually, the mayor asked me the same question, so if you would like to make it earlier, we're open to that.
What do you think, Mr. Chambers? An hour?
We're gonna get everything in advance so we can have
Yes.
time to read, so,
Yes, you'll have
Should be able to-
everything right after July 25th,
okay.
as soon as possible.
What time?
We don't know
We're
yet.
talking about 4 or 5.
4:30 or 5?
Either 4 or 5, which one, what do you think?
I think we need to give ourselves more time. We can always finish early and have extra time, but I would hate to feel rushed having to make such an important decision. So I would like to opt for doing this at 4 o'clock.
2 hours? Well,
Well-
up to 2 hours.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Mr. Schisler, you have a comment on when we could begin this meeting on August 2nd?
Nope, that worked. 4 o'clock works.
Okay, 4 o'clock works. Are you okay with
Yes,
4
yep.
o'clock? It sounds to me like we're willing to come in 4 o'clock.
Okay, great. We'll set that up for you.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? You good?
I'm good. Thank
Okay.
you.
City Attorney, Ms. Shoshone?
I have nothing to report.
Okay. Well, it says here, there are persons wishing to be heard not listed on the agenda, only if we need it, but apparently we're good to go. So I officially call this meeting adjourned.